We hear a lot about David's mighty men, but not much is heard about his women. David, the man after God's own heart, a shepherd, a warrior, a king. But behind the glory, behind the psalms, behind the crown was a complicated story of love, politics, desire, and consequences. Because David didn't just marry once, he married many women. And each relationship tells a story you've probably never fully heard. In ancient Israel, kings often married for power, alliances, or survival. But David's relationships weren't just political. Some were born out of love, some out of war, some out of sin, and some came with devastating consequences. Let's go through every woman connected to David and what each relationship reveals. Michal, his first love. Michal was King Saul's daughter, and unlike many royal marriages, she actually loved David. But Saul saw David as a threat, so he gave Michal to David as a trap, hoping David would die trying to end her. Instead, David succeeded. He married Michal, but their story quickly turned tragic. When David fled from Saul, Michal helped him escape, risking her life. But later, Saul gave her to another man. Years later, David demanded her back, not out of love, but to solidify his claim to the throne. And when she returned, the love was gone. When David danced before God with abandon, Michal despised him, and the Bible says she remained childless for the rest of her life. A love story that ended in bitterness. Ahinoam, the forgotten wife. Ahinoam of Jezreel became David's wife while he was on the run. She lived through his wilderness years, the caves, the battles, the uncertainty. She bore David his first son, Amnon. But despite this, she fades into the background. Why? Because her son would later become part of one of the darkest chapters in David's family history. Abigail, the wise woman. Abigail was originally married to a harsh and foolish man named Nabal. When Nabal insulted David, David was ready to wipe out his entire household, but Abigail intervened. With wisdom, humility, and courage, she stopped David from committing bloodshed. She saved lives and changed David's course. Soon after, Nabal died, and David married her. This was one of David's most honorable marriages. Abigail wasn't just beautiful, she was discerning, strategic, and spiritually aware. A woman who protected David from his worst impulses. If you want to learn more about Abigail, Nabal, and David, check another video on this channel. Next woman is Maacah, the political alliance. Maacah was the daughter of a foreign king. This marriage wasn't about love, it was about politics, an alliance, but it came at a cost. She became the mother of Absalom, the son who would later rebel against David and try to take his throne. Sometimes the decisions made for power create future pain. Haggith, Abital, and Eglah, the lesser-known wives. These women were mentioned briefly, but their presence matters. They each bore David's sons. Haggith was the mother of Adonijah, who later tried to seize the throne. Abital and Eglah are even less detailed, but their inclusion shows something important. David's household was growing rapidly, and with it, complexity, rivalry, and tension. Bathsheba, the scandal that changed everything. This is the most famous and most controversial of all. Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah, one of David's most loyal soldiers. But one night, David saw her bathing, and instead of turning away, he called for her. That decision led to adultery, then a pregnancy, and then something even darker. David arranged for Uriah to be killed in battle, a cover-up, a betrayal, a sin that shook the foundation of his kingdom. David married Bathsheba afterward, but God saw everything. The child they conceived later died, and David faced consequences that would follow him for the rest of his life. Yet, from this same union came Solomon, who would later succeed David as king. A reminder that even in brokenness, God can still bring redemption. Abishag, the young woman who was given to him. When David was old and frail, his body could no longer keep warm, so his servants searched for a young woman to care for him. They found Abishag. She was brought to the king to lie beside him and keep him warm. But the Bible makes something very clear. David did not sleep with her. She wasn't a wife in the traditional sense, more like a caregiver, brought into the royal household in his final days. But her story didn't end there. After David died, Adonijah, one of David's sons, asked to marry her, and that request was seen as a political move to claim the throne. It cost him his life. Even in David's old age, the relationships around him still carried power, tension, and concubines, and consequences. Concubines, power without peace. Beyond his wife, David also took concubines. These relationships expanded his household even further, but instead of stability, they brought chaos, jealousy, division, conflict. David had power, but his family was fractured. In closing, we've seen that David was a great king, but his story with women is not one of perfection. It is a story of love and loss, wisdom and impulsiveness, faith and failure. Each relationship added something to his life, but also took something from it. And in the end, David's greatest battles were not just on the battlefield, they were in his own home. Which of David's relationships shocked you the most? And what do you think his story teaches us about love, power, and consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insightful Bible breakdowns. Thank you for watching, and God bless.